Welcome back to another Piano Player Reacts. I'm Piano Player. Today we're going to be talking about whether or not did Jimi Hendrix have bad technique. We're going to be reacting to him playing at Monterey live in 1967. Now, I do think he had bad technique, but I think that's a good thing. I think that a lot of the best guitar players ever, a lot of the great players ever, regardless of genre, have what you would call bad technique. Now, that doesn't mean that their technique is actually bad. It just means that it goes against what's traditional, right? And all my favorite guitar players do this. This is kind of one thing I always talk about in my videos, right? Like when I talk about Mark Knopfler or Toy Caldwell from the Marshall Tucker Band, right? They had what you would call bad technique, not what's usually taught, right? Piano is the same way I play piano, and I feel like a lot of the way that I play piano, what you would call bad technique, right? But it's just different. It's just called bad technique because it's not what people are generally doing, right? But it still really works. You know what I mean? And we're going to see that with Jimi here. His technique is different. It's unique, and it's what makes his playing so amazing, in my opinion. But before I talk more, let's get right into this, and then we'll get more into it.
Where you going with that gun in your head? Hey, Joe, I said, where you going with that gun in your head? I'm going out and shoot my old lady. You know, I'm gonna mess around with another man.
Okay, before we get too into this, first thing I want to talk about is, other than the technique thing, as we'll see, he is an amazing songwriter. I know that Hendrix is always known and thought of for his guitar playing, which he was an amazing guitar player. But the thing that makes him one of my favorite musicians and artists of all time is that he wrote amazing songs. I mean, he really did. And that's my favorite thing. I don't care as much about how amazing or technical a player is. To me, it's more about what they're doing in a song and how great that song is. And I think that Hendrix wrote really great songs, and he was a great storyteller. Like Steely Dan is one of my other favorites. And again, Steely Dan lyrics and Jimi Hendrix lyrics and Bob Dylan and the Allman Brothers, a lot of bands like that, a lot of my favorite bands, the lyrics are very similar. You know what I mean? It's great storytelling, great lyrics and storytelling, and great rhythm and chords. And I think ultimately that's what really makes him stand out. Because, you know, I love Stevie Ray Vaughan as well, but it's like Stevie, as much as I love Stevie Ray Vaughan, he wasn't as great as a songwriter. You know what I mean? He more played blues, and a lot of his songs sounded very similar. Although there was he wrote many great songs, you know. But I would say that Hendrix is a much greater songwriter than Stevie Ray Vaughan. Stevie Ray Vaughan was a better guitar player than Jimi Hendrix, right? But Jimi was a better songwriter. I think Jimi is one of the greatest songwriters of all time. His songs are so weird. For example, go listen to my favorite Hendrix song is Burning of the Midnight Lamp. If you haven't heard Burning of the Midnight Lamp, go listen to it. It's amazing. It's just a great example of how great of a songwriter he really was. But let's get into this. As we go forward, his technique, what makes his technique so strange is where, first of all, the fact that, you know, he played a right-handed guitar upside down, that has a lot to do with it. But the main thing is look at the way he strums with his left hand, and look at where he strums, right? He does a lot of strumming on top of the fretboard itself, right? Most guitar players don't do that. He does this very jazzy thing, you know what I mean, where he also has a weird angle in the way he places his hand, I feel like, right? Almost in like a hook or like angle type way, like Mark Knopfler. But he strums on the fretboard itself, right? And I'm not a guitar player, but I've heard multiple guitar players who know what they're talking about say this, that like part of his really soft, beautiful, rhythmic sound from his guitar is that he strums a lot on top of the fretboard instead of down towards the base of the strings, because obviously down those create different sounds, right? So I think that's part of the reason why his stuff sounds also very smooth, and it's an interesting sound because he's mixing that type of strumming with playing a Fender, right? And Fenders are known for being more dry and not as thick or fuller sounding or smooth sounding. But I think when you combine the Fender sound with the strumming on the fretboard, it creates a really great, interesting sound. But let's keep going here.
I'm going on to shoot my lady. You know I caught her mess around with another man, and that ain't too good. Hey Joe, I said, I heard you shot your lady down, you shot her down. Hey Joe, I said, I heard you shot your lady.
Okay, you can see it right there. I'll play that one more time. You can see him strumming on the fretboard farther up the strings. You can see it right here.
Joe, I said, I heard you shot your lady down, you shot her down in the ground.
And you can see how, like, when he's soloing, obviously he doesn't do that, but when he's playing chords and he's playing rhythm, you can always see him doing that. That, like, his arm, again, is almost in a hooked or little bit of a different position. It's more forward this way, right? So that he can strums at the base of the fretboard a lot, and that just really creates a really beautiful sound. But let's keep going here.
Yes, I did, I shot her. You know I caught her mess around town. Yes, I did, I shot her. You know I caught her mess around town. Now give it a gun, I shot her.
Okay, so I know 5 minutes ago I said that Stevie Ray Vaughan is a better guitar player, but I still think Hendrix, I love him more as a guitar player, and I think he's better in a certain specific way. I think he's more unique. I think that Hendrix is the most unique guitar player ever. I mean, just his sound and just the notes he's hitting. I mean, look at this right here. I mean, playing with his teeth. It's insane. I mean, that is insane, to be able to play with your teeth and play a really amazing sounding solo with your teeth alone. I mean, I know some people might argue that it's gimmicky or whatever, but I don't think it is. And I think that where he maybe lacks in technique or precision or whatever, right? I think he, in my opinion, is the best guitar player ever because of his creativity. I think he's the most creative guitar player ever, in my opinion. And I think this teeth guitar solo right here is just proof of that. But let's keep going. All right, another thing I want to talk about. Mitch Mitchell. Mitch Mitchell is one of my favorite drummers. I think he's one of the greatest drummers of all time. You can really hear it in this song right here. Like this is such an amazing recording. It blows my mind how some of these recordings are literally, at this point, this is 50 something years ago, right? This is 1967. So this is over 50 years ago, and I think that'd be 52 years, right? I think maybe my math is off. But look how HD it is, and I know it's been retouched and redone, but some of these videos are incredible. Like it's incredible that we have videos of live performances from 50 years ago and the audio and the quality can be this high. It's really amazing, and I think it's something that people are going to be watching for hundreds of years. I mean, I think 300 years from now, people who are learning to play guitar are going to watch a 300-year-old video of Jimi Hendrix. Because think about it, we listen to Beethoven and we listen to Mozart and Chopin and older jazz dudes. So think about the idea of like people will be listening to this. Like people, because we have videos now, it's a very interesting historical thing that like 300 years from now people will be watching this. Like people won't just be able to listen to Beethoven, you have to listen to somebody play Beethoven. There's no audio or video of Beethoven playing live. But for people like Hendrix, there will be. You'll be 300 years from now, people will be able to watch this video right here and see exactly what it was all about. But keep going to Mitch Mitchell. Listen to the drums, especially in the rest of the song here. I mean, just such a straight, great groove. I mean, this was back when drummers could really swing. You know what I mean? Like when today, it's almost like all drumming is just straight beats, right? It feels like there's no swinging today. And swinging is really hard to do because swinging almost feels like there's not even a steady beat. It's kind of a strange, like Jedi drumming trick thing, in my opinion. I'm not a drummer, but just listen to Mitch Mitchell here. I'll go back a little bit and let's keep going here. I love that riff. I love that blues riff in this song. Right, or whatever it is. I'm not a singer. I'm not a great singer. That's such a great riff. I mean, that is such a badass blues riff.
Where you gonna run to now? Where you gonna go?
Listen to Mitch Mitchell swing. Listen to him swing right now.
Hey, Joe said, where you gonna run to now? Where you gonna go? And he says this, I'm going way down south, way down the Mexico way.
Okay, I'm going to replay that part right there because that's the part where you can directly see Mitch Mitchell playing. Watch his playing. He plays a lot like the drummer for Coltrane. What's his name? I'm always forgetting his name. Not McCoy Tyner, that was the piano player. Anyway, Coltrane's drummer. He plays like that. He plays in such a swingy, like, it's swinging so hard that it's like, to me, swinging feels like this. The guitar and the vocals and the bass are ahead of the drums. Like the drums is almost slightly lagging, right, behind the forward progression of the music. And that causes this really hypnotic, like multi-beat feeling, as if like the other instruments are like a millisecond ahead and the drums are just behind. So it's almost like there's two beats going on at the same time. It's incredible. But watch his drumming here again.
Where you gonna run to now? Where you gonna go? And he says this, I'm going way down south, way down the Mexico way. Yeah, I'm going way down south, way down, walk and be free. Ain't the one but a
Okay, before we go into this last final part with the last behind the head solo here he's about to do, which Stevie Ray Vaughan did that a lot. I also love it. I also play the bass. I'm mainly a piano player, but bass was my first instrument. I love that bass. My main bass, I love to play 1967 jazz replica, right? And that's a 1960, I think, I always forget the years. It's either 1964 or 1967 Fender jazz bass. I love those basses. They have such an incredible sound. Obviously, Jaco Pastorius, arguably the greatest bass player of all time, used those, right? He took the fretboard pieces out, made it smooth, right? Played close to fretboard, but I love that bass. That's my favorite bass. The only downside of those basses is jazz bass that they're huge. Jazz basses are huge. They're really heavy. They're really huge, and also they just have such a fat sound that like it doesn't really cut through recordings as well. But it does give you a fat sound. It really gives you a nice low end, right? The bass is going to be filled. The low end will be filled, but it doesn't cut through as much like a Precision or other basses, right? That really cut through the recording. You can really hear everything. The jazz bass has more of a muted sound. But anyway, I think one of those today, if you bought one of those basses that Noel Redding is playing right there, you'd probably spend what, like probably $20,000 for an original 1964 Fender jazz bass. I'd love to have one of those. If you have one, let me know if I can buy one for about $100. But let's finish here with the great behind the back Jimi Hendrix solo. All right, we gotta watch that solo again. We gotta watch that one more time. Listen to the solo, and again, just lock in to what Noel Redding and Mitch Mitchell are doing. Just lock in on that. It's incredible. Listen to that rhythm section. It's what really brought a lot of his music together. Just like Stevie Ray Vaughan, right? It's like the rhythm section is what really brings everything together and allows for the great soloing. Alright guys, well that's all for today. I'll see you guys next time. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and check my music out, Kuli Baba. Check it out on YouTube. Check it out on Spotify. It's KULEEBABA. I'll see you guys in the next one.